Welcome guys, Lippy's here, and today I've got a new thing, a PlayStation 2. I bought it for 10 euros and it was an absolute steal according to the listing because only the DVD drive won't open and the thing is fully functional. The guy was selling it locally, so I went to him immediately and I bought it. And it's very dusty, as you can see. It seems like it smoked a pack of cigarettes like every day, and it smells bad, like no joke. My whole room smells like this, and it's only sitting here for half a day. Also, excuse my stupidness sometimes. This is my first time having a PS2 Fat or any kind of PS2, so I'm kind of new to it. I haven't watched any videos about modifying it or servicing it or something like that, so I'm going into it totally blindly. Also, there is a sticker that is hiding supposedly another plastic cover. I don't know, let me check. So, according to RestoFix video, there should be a plastic cover right there where the stupid sticker is. So I have to remove it somehow, but it's old and crusty, like it dips under my fingernail and it really hurts. Yeah, I'm not gonna mess around. I found a knife and I'm gonna fucking remove it. So, after struggling with it for 5 minutes, we can finally remove it. And what the? Are you serious right now? There is no screw in there. Who would put a stupid ass sticker on a plastic cover that doesn't protect it from anything? Like, why? These are extremely tight and crisp screws. These things were never disassembled in its life. Just listen to those crisp screws, like, oh my god. And the last screw. And we are going to watch some helping videos from the same guy, so we can find out how to continue. So supposedly this cover should come off and you have to be careful because on the right side there is a cable that you should disconnect before removing the top cover, because you can easily rip that and you wouldn't be very happy after that. Next is the DVD drive to come out. Well, I think that thing should have been screwed down, but anyways, so we are going to remove the screws from the controller and memory card connector, and then there are two other screws back at the power connector and between the power connector and the fan. I think and also you have to be very careful removing that thing, because there is also another ribbon cable And you can't see very well, but you have to flip up a plastic thingy to remove the cable, but it's stuck, and that's why I'm struggling with it. And finally it clicked, and we can remove the ribbon cable. And now it's time to take out the fan and power connector. They come apart, so not a big thing, I guess. It really shows that it's my first time disassembling a PS2 Fat, because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just guessing all the time, and this stupid fan just won't let me remove the plastic bracket from it. And also, its cable is under the motherboard. Why, Sony? Why would you do that? So the next thing that I should do is remove the DVD drive, which is held with two plastic tabs at the back and one plastic tab at the front. I managed to unclip it at the front and pulled it towards me, but there are multiple cables below it, which made my life much harder than I would like. Sadly, you can't see, but there are dozens of cables. There is one for the motor, there is one for the laser, and there are like 5 on the side for the CR2032 battery and much more. I don't know what those are doing, but they are there and they are very annoying. So I just removed the tray itself, and I hope it will help me disassembling this thing, but I don't know. I also removed the screws for the DVD drives, motor and laser housing, and hopefully I can work my way through and I can remove the plastic bracket under from it. There we go. So it is only the motor and the laser that is holding me back now, but thankfully I removed the laser, and now it's only the spinny thing that I'm struggling with, but we will come back to it later because I can't remove it. There is just no way. So next thing is to remove the power supply, which is also missing screws. So it's the third thing that is missing screws, which is weird because I thought this thing never had anyone go in it, but it doesn't seem like it, because the DVD drive's top plastic cover was also missing 4 screws, and if I'm correct, you just have to pull up and the power supply will come apart. There you go. It's a PS2 Fat power supply. And now we can remove the hard drive's cage and the fan finally. And with that, we can finally access the DVD drive's last ribbon cable. Oh, and also the heatsink is missing 1 screw. That's weird, because there's supposed to be 4 and it's only 3. And after removing every screw and unhooking the... Wait, what? What is that? Is that a mod chip? Okay, now I'm confused. Is this PS2 a modded PS2? Like, it seems like it. But what does that chip do? After my research, it is a mod chip to play burned DVDs. So that's very nice. I'm not planning to use the DVD drive, but we will give it a try because, as one of my fellow YouTubers said, optical media is bad. Anyway, fun fact, the PS2, as I just learned, uses thermal pads for cooling its CPU, RAM and everything with cooling oil, or how do you call that? With like oil that transfers heat. Yeah, I don't know what should I do. Should I buy this oil or should I use just regular old thermal paste, or I don't know. So after all that, I decided I will use the Arctic's thermal pads because that seemed the most logical thing to do. But you have to be careful because one of them is 1.5 millimeters and the other is 2 millimeters thick. Because Sony chose to do that, the CPU and RAM uses a thinner version or thinner thermal pad for some reason, and they are at the same height from the motherboard, only the cooler is made differently, maybe to use less aluminium, but half a millimeter of aluminium is not that many, so it's weird. Anyway, I had to buy two different type of thermal pads. If you don't put the hard drive cage back in the STBH 30,000 version of PS2 Fat, your life will be much easier because you can connect all the ribbon cables much easier. You can put the DVD drive back together outside, put the whole assembly back into its place and connect everything up. But I didn't know that because, as I said, I'm a beginner to this type of thing, this console. I've never had a console like this. So yeah, if you ever plan to do this, don't be like me and don't put back the hard drive cage too early. Also, I'm planning to mod the fan like everyone else does with these old PS2 Fats because they are extremely loud. Only the 50,000 series are quiet. All the other ones are loud as hell. But I don't like how the 25mm of Noctua fans stand out. So I'm planning to do it with a 15mm Noctua fan and using a 12 volt voltage booster from 7 volts because the Noctua NFH6 by 15 only uses like 0.1 amp. So if I use a voltage booster from 7 volts to 12 volts, it's not gonna be a problem. And the fan will spin much faster than just using it on 7 volts. And the PlayStation will not overheat and I don't have to worry about looking modded. So it can look basically stock. Only if you look into the grills, you will see that it's not black, it's Noctua brown. And as I'm already in the PS2, I'm gonna change the little battery in it so I don't have to deal with it later. And the PS2 is nearly put together. The drive door is a bit crusty, it opens hardly. It opens, so I'm happy with it because the original problem with it was that the drive door does not open. I'm not planning using it. I will probably use a hard drive in it, or with a MX4 SIO card. But yeah, my plans are the HDD because it's much more convenient and I can store a lot of things. I'm planning buying a 120 or 240 gig SSD in it, and maybe buying an original or an aftermarket Ethernet adapter for it. I know it turns on, but does it give me a picture? And it does. That's a good sign. Let me turn on the light for you to see the DVD drive in action. So, we are back again. It opens beautifully. So that's it for today's video, guys. Thank you for watching. And if you have any ideas or anything to share with me, please tell me in the comments. And see you in the next video, where I continue with modifying the PlayStation 2 instead of reviving it and cleaning it. Hopefully it will be much more interesting for you. Bye.